Right, let's go ahead and change our API so it looks something like this. So let's open up Spring. So let's open up IntelliJ, and in here, let me just close this. So what we want to do is to use a annotation right here. So we're going to say at, and then request, and then mapping. And here inside, we're going to say that the path will be, so within double quotes, this will be API /v1. So this is the version 1 of our API / and then customer. Now we can also improve a couple of things in here. So the get mapping. So here we can say that value. So that will have a value of and then all. And you'll see this in a second. Then in here, so post mapping, we can leave it as is, and then put mapping as is, and then here we can also leave it as is. So effectively, if I restart the application, and let me open up my web browser. So here now, if I try to send a request to localhost 8080, you can see that we get a 404 status code not found. But if I say / and then API and then v1 / and then customer, enter, this also does not work. And that's because we have a all. There we go. So now we get all customers. So this is nice. So which means that the customer here, so customer should be for a single one. If we want to get customer, that should be for a single customer. And you can see that this now works. So we are getting all customers. So there you have it. So basically now for in here, so if I show you within Postman, remember we had delete. So here that will be, for example, API and then v1 and then customer and then / and delete. So send, you can see that this is actually not found. So what did we miss? So actually this should be API, not AP1, API, just like that, send, and you can see that it works. The same if you want to send a put request, instead of localhost, you send it against our API. So this is nice. Now to create a version 2 of our API, it's as simple as if I basically duplicate this class, Command C or Control C if you're on Windows, you can see the keyboard shortcut down below, paste that in here. I'm going to say v2. So this is now a new version of our API. And there we go. So now we can change this to version 2. And for version 2, right here, instead of returning that, let me just say return and then erase dot and then as list and then new customer, and then the ID will be, let's say 0L, and then I'm going to say v2, or actually just v2, so you see exactly what is happening, and then v2 basically. So now if I end this with semicolon, and I can replace this with a singleton list, and if I reload the application, there we go, up and running. And now check this out. So here I can basically say all in here. So this is the version 1 of our API, and now I can hit the version 2 of the API, and you can see that name v2, customer ID v2. So this is awesome, which means that now we can wait until everyone upgrades from version 1 to version 2, and we can even deprecate if we want. And then basically no one will be hitting the version 1 but version 2, just like that, right? And usually it's best practice if you actually deprecate the version 1. So here I can say, in this class I can say at and then deprecated, right? So now everyone looking at this, and you can see this now, it has a stroke. Now this tells us that this is deprecated and we should be using the version 2 of our API. So there you have it. Hopefully you've learned API versioning and naming, and how you should properly structure and build APIs with Spring Boot.